What is up everyone, Team Nat here, welcoming you back to another video. It's not much, but it's mine. Lighting has always been something that fascinated me, how light falls off of your subject, how the light bounces and things like that. But I've always been afraid of using strobes. Actually, I started my photography journey using only natural light or using my continuous light, the SL60W. But it was very limiting, especially when you are stuck in situations wherein it's too dark. The SL60W doesn't really give me enough power in terms of light, so I end up being limited. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about that light, the Godox MS300. It's sort of like an entry-level strobe, studio strobe, and it's very affordable too, so a lot of beginners can afford it. So there's only like two things that I want to talk about here. First is the build quality, and second, of course, is the features and how does this flash perform when you do product shoots and stuff like that. So let's talk about the build quality first because it's the shorter part of this video. So first, let's look at the build quality of the Godox MS300. It's made mostly out of plastic, but it's not the cheap kind. It's not the cheap feeling kind of plastic. It's very hard. It's very sturdy. It feels kind of hefty, though it's still pretty light. So I appreciate that if I need to bring this around, this will be very light. It can just go in my bigger camera bag and it will be easy to lug around compared to other lights. The SL60W, it's so freaking heavy. This is lighter than that. Also has a built-in Bowens mount, so you can mount any softbox, any reflectors on this. That's a big plus. The mount is made out of aluminum. It's metal, so you know that it's going to be reliable, it's going to be sturdy, it's not gonna break as easy. The knobs and the buttons actually feel great on this. It feels very tactical, if that's the right term. It feels snappy, it's very responsive. Overall, this light feels very well made for the price. I think this is at around $105 to get this studio strobe. Now, let's get to the meat of the discussion, which is the features of the Godox MS300. This strobe is fairly strong. It's 300 watts with the temperature of 5600 Kelvin plus minus 200 Kelvin, which is still pretty accurate. I get almost the same color, almost no difference for every shot in each and every shot that I take with this light. It's pretty slow though in terms of recycling time. It's 0.1 to 1.8 seconds, so don't expect to fire like high frame rate photos using this flash. It's not gonna be able to keep up, but it does the job for me. I don't need to take very fast shots, especially when when I'm on a studio. I usually take high frame rate shots when I'm outdoors with natural light. It also doesn't have high-speed sync. For you guys who don't know what high-speed sync is, high-speed sync is a feature on a flash or a strobe or a speed light that will allow you to use your camera in faster shutter speeds. But with this, 1/250th is the maximum. It's the fastest that I can get so far without some areas of the picture not being covered by the light. Aside from it not having HSS, the weakest setting on this camera is 1/32, so it's still pretty strong. As compared to this speed light, this can go as weak as 1/128, which doesn't really help the case of the MS300 if you want to achieve a creamy bokeh when you're taking photos with the flash. But you can always address that by using a neutral density filter, and the filters will be able to allow you to use faster aperture speeds for creamy bokeh if that's the look that you're going for. But generally, if you don't have that ND filter, it's going to be pretty hard to achieve that creamy bokeh unless you have like a very long telephoto lens, which will be able to do that. But like for me, I don't have a very long telephoto lens. My longest is the 85mm, and for me to be able to achieve a creamy bokeh like I have on this photo, I had to use my ND filter. So pretty much you have to compensate with the camera settings, with some gear to be able to do some things with this light. But again, this is an entry-level strobe. this is very affordable, and you can't expect it to be perfect at this price range at 100 to 105 US dollars. But also, if you do find the sweet spot between your settings, between the light, between your, if you're using an ND filter, it's just easy to like shoot non-stop. Since it's a studio strobe, you can plug it in. But another downside is you can't use batteries with this light. So if you're gonna do an outside portrait, outside photo shoot, it's going to be hard to lug this around. You have to bring plugs. But if you're doing it in a public place, I don't think you can use this. So you're better off using this when you have outdoor portrait shoots, because this is only for the studio. Indoors, if you have a studio in your room, you could definitely use this. It also has a modeling lamp, which is pretty important for me because it allows me to see better the subject before I take a photo. So that's a plus, the modeling lamp. Speed lights usually don't have modeling lamps, but this does have one, so it's a plus. That is a plus point for me. And it's controllable by any X series triggers. So I'm using the X2T-S for Sony. So I can just put this on my camera, turn it on, and I will be able to control the light using this. But don't get confused, because this setting, the setting here goes up to 1/28, but again, this is only 1/32, so you won't be able to get that setting. But these are pretty affordable as well, so I got this for around maybe $50, $40, around that price range, brand new. Now, given the build quality and the features, who is this light for? I strongly believe that this light is for those people who are just starting to use flash, starting to really explore flash photography. Given its awesome price point at $105, you will be able to familiarize yourself with using flash, how light works when using flash. So that is a great plus for this, and these are for those beginners who are just starting to look at flash photography. If you already have this is a great option as well to have on your kit. And it's also for those who do mostly indoor shoots, because again, this doesn't have any battery power. It's hard to use outdoors because of its size, and because that you have to plug it in somewhere. So if your projects are mostly indoors, in a studio or in a house or wherever, this light is for you, and I think you will be able to benefit from this. People with other lights, as well as more high-end lights, can also get this as a second light. I usually use this as my main light, but a lot of professionals out there use multiple lights, so this could be one of those extra lights to complement your more expensive light that you have already. So what do I use this light for? First I intended to use it for portrait shots, but I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. I've only had this for 2 weeks and I've been a little bit busy. But right now I've taken some product shots with this light, and for your appreciation, I'm gonna show you some of those shots right now. So there you have it, guys. That is the Godox MS300. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and punch that notification bell so you are notified every time I have a new video. So that's it for me tonight. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.